Welcome back to the rest of the story. You guys can all see that while we were doing this project that we had the designated foreman out there watching us. As you can see, it's, of course, as always, Rocket. Well, starting off, I'm going to say that I have a whole new appreciation for the guys that run these machines on a daily basis. This thing was a lot of fun to run, don't get me wrong, but, well, starting off, there's two different ways that you can run this. It comes with an excavator setting with excavator controls or a backhoe controls. I am very grateful that they took the time to tell me how to switch it over. I don't know if that was really covered on Ryan's video, and I do know Ryan has already done a video on this. This just fits in with my video scheduling. But this thing was set up as an excavator to use the excavator style controls when we got it. I managed to run it for about 2.5 minutes like that before I said I had enough of that. It was just backwards, and everything that I was ever raised to operate, they were completely backwards. Like, to me, the extending the arms out, to me, made more sense to push the levers ahead away from me and then back towards me to close them. And when you're not used to that, I almost destroyed some stuff there early on. I mean, I think that guide wire wasn't really too far away from the bucket there a couple times. But this made really quick work of this culvert job. It went really smooth. There's no way we were about to try to start digging this by hand, even though I know that's what they used to do way back in the day. Now, when they delivered this unit for us to use, demo, I asked him the do's and the don'ts and what do you recommend for operating this thing efficiently. And about the most useful advice that he gave me was use your fingertips. And if you can watch as I'm going here, I am using like my whole hand to operate it. But if you watch when I'm doing really touchy stuff that I'm being really careful as to what I'm doing, you can see there I'm really only using the tips of my fingers. This thing is so delicate, and in a good way. I mean, it's there. Even myself, being a rookie operator running it, I am very confident in my abilities in running equipment overall, any general piece of equipment. And to be honest with you, this really didn't take me too long to get used to running. It took me a whole maybe 15 minutes once I changed the controls over to the backhoe setting. It really wasn't that hard to figure out. I mean, the biggest part is just being aware of your surroundings. I mean, you can see there I almost took Dad out once or twice there, and that was probably about the closest calls we had. But really handy. And this part I was just really impressed by. Here I thought we were originally, what our original plans were, we were just going to set it down in with the Bobcat, and we were going to have to get in there manually and move the pipe around. This, by having this machine here, we were able to literally pick it up with a chain. Ryan is using one hand to balance it, and I'm able to set it right down in exactly where we want it. And this job really couldn't have been much easier. I'm really appreciative that Sloan's and Bloomington were able to send this down. And we've never been around these small backhoes. I mean, I've seen the electrician came down and did some digging with one, but it's not like any of us were ever in the driver's seat. Overall, it was a really, really interesting experience. If we did a lot more digging jobs, I would definitely probably could easily justify having a machine like this. It has the grapple on it for the bucket. That really came in handy when we first started out. There was a lot of rocks on top in front of the old pipe. So I was using those early on to go through and just kind of hand pick out any of the rocks that were there. And I also used it. I don't think I have any. Oh, I know I don't have any footage of it. The old pipe, what's left of it, it was currently sitting next to the dirt pile. I used the combination of the bucket teeth to kind of hook on into some of the rusted out spots in the old pipe. And I don't know, what are you guys that are seasoned in these things that have maybe run these? I just call it a grapple, but maybe that's not the technical term for it. But that was what I used, a combination of both, to kind of pick out the old pipe. And this was, well, the only reason I started doing this is to kind of get some dirt filled in around it a little bit more accurately, because you can see Dad in the Bobcat. He was taking a lot bigger scoops, and then I was just trying to fill in some of the low spots, and then Dad took over and pushed the rest of the pile in. And I did end up going down in the culvert, or down in through the ditch, and I did open that up a little bit by using this machine. This thing had air conditioning. It worked well when the windows were shut. It really helped even because I did have the front window open so I could talk to Dad and Ryan. The cab is closed now, and that really helped, but just having the side door, yeah, see, because I have the front window open here, and basically just the air hitting you just enough that it kept you from sweating too terribly. So for the machine that it is really handy. It wasn't the smallest machine they could have sent down. It wasn't the biggest. It was kind of like the Goldilocks effect. It was just right. It was about their mid-sized machine. I really didn't get into too much that I stalled it out. I really wasn't trying to. I mean, we were really just digging dirt. I think when I hooked onto that old pipe once, it had a little bit of dirt in it and on it. And that made it grunt a little bit, but I wasn't out to break anything either, though, so I was being really cautious. I really like this angle that I had this camera. I got lucky, and there was a piece of, because I'm using my magnetic mount from my sponsor, and there's a piece of steel in the back behind me that I could get a really nice angle of the operation of this machine. And this is teamwork right here between not having to, because this is all dirt that we had no room for, so Dad was taking it up and he was putting it up above the washouts above the barn, and works really slick. That would have easily been like a couple day job if we had to do this by hand, and luckily by talking to the local dealership, we were able to work something out, and they were willing to send something down and allow us to use it, and used it. We're able to get some really nice footage of it too in operation. And it says, actually, memory serves me right, in the instruction decals to the right of the operator, it says exactly that. Start everything slowly when you go to start operating it, because once you get past the learning curve, the guy that brought it down, he did say exactly that. He says, well, you see these YouTube videos where they're opening up pop cans or was it pop bottles or whatever it was, but pop cans and flipping bottles, I think is what Ryan said, was flipping them. And he's like, yeah, don't do that. So I don't think it's not something that being able to do something quite that skilled you're going to be able to do overnight, but just having using the tips of your fingers just to gradually move it, because you're moving the arm between the arm and the bucket and then curling it back to keep the ground level. The ability to do that with this machine and how smooth it was really impressive. I mean, that's something that on some spots here that we would have had to get in there and do it with a shovel. And most times, like, we've had to do similar things in the past. So, wow, I didn't think I'd talk through that whole video, guys. Well, I hope you appreciate it or enjoyed the video. I had a lot of fun running it. Take care. Take it easy. Keep in touch. Thanks for watching. I'll go ahead and say it. Go ahead and hit subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.